Welcome to ENTV Now, your source for all the latest news from inside the nest. My name is Julie Perez, and this week's top story shows what happens when a community comes together. An FGCU professor fell victim to a hate crime after a group of vandals broke into his Cape Coral home and wrote a derogatory message on the wall. The incident caused thousands of dollars worth of damages, but the response from the FGCU community was priceless. When FGCU professor Peter Dianui walked into his in-progress Cape Coral home, he came across a disturbing scene. Broken glass scattered around the floor, bright red paint flooding the white tile, and on the wall, a racially derogatory message too graphic to repeat.
Oh, this was the most traumatic experience I've ever had. This is a house we were hoping maybe one day we can move into it when it's done. And then you just look at the destruction and then you cannot even just believe. It was beyond shock.
When Peter's colleagues heard about the damage, they wanted to help.
Peter openly shared what had happened at the house, and we were all in disbelief. We looked at the photos and we said, this can't be the end of the story. But we can't be just, sharing news stories and passing them around. There's no room for slacktivism. We have to take activism, and we have to teach our children that this is how they change the world.
FGCU professor Jessica Asari organized a cleanup event to help Peter and his family pick up the pieces.
We didn't even know. We were not even part of this. We did not even plan. We did not even know. We were asking each other, what do we bring? We don't even know. People came together, Jess and Delic and all those other people. They brought it all together. It just made us feel so loved.
And the turnout was astounding. Cars lined up and down the street in front of his home, and around 50 attendees came to lend a hand, many of whom had never even met Peter.
I had never actually took one of his classes, but I walked up here and the first thing he did was meet me with huge open arms and gave me a huge hug and just thanked me profusely for being here. And he said, even if you're able to help or not, for him, the biggest thing was just for us to show up here and be here to help out.
Volunteers scraped paint from the tiles, cleaned windows, vacuumed debris, and sanded off that hateful message, painting over it with a fresh coat of primer.
I have a feeling that some of these things sometimes have to happen. It's such is happening to us for the community to wake up and to realize we need to express our love even more, because hate can easily clip between us and destroy who we are. We are much better than that.
Broken hearts and a broken home, repaired by the power of community. The Cape Coral Police Department is still searching for the suspects responsible for the damage. If you have any information, you can submit an anonymous tip to Crime Stoppers or contact CCPD. UPD arrested a student on Thursday following a social media threat stating harm to the FGCU campus. On December 5th, 23-year-old Nolan Marcoux made a post on Snapchat stating the following: "Grade appeal denied. Online class override denied. I want to shoot up this school." The Federal Bureau of Investigation flagged the threat and notified the Lee County Sheriff's Office, who then contacted UPD. Upon arrest, UPD also found a bag full of a white powdered substance, which later tested positive for cocaine. According to the official police report, Marcoux was arrested on charges of written or electronic threats to conduct a mass shooting and possession of narcotics. Last month, the FGCU Theater Department debuted their production of the play Letters to Sala. ENTV correspondent Kristen Castro headed out to opening night to get an inside look at the production.
Thanks, Julie. I'm currently outside of the Bauer School of Music's Art Complex, where just this past weekend, I got to watch FGCU Theater's opening night of Letters to Sala. The play is based on the true story of Sala Kirshner, as she recounts to her daughter and grandchildren her journey through 7 Nazi labor camps during World War II, showing flashbacks of her story told through the 100 letters she kept from her time there.
What a perfect play for right now. There's a lot of dark times and division going on in our country and the world, and this play is about hope. It's about humanity. It's about the resilience of the human spirit.
The play highlights the resilience and bravery of Sala during the Holocaust, as well as the struggle of her family debating whether to keep the letters personal or share them with the world. It creates a bridge to the audience of a different aspect of the Holocaust they may not have seen before.
It's more so the emotional and the human aspect of the Holocaust, because when we learn about it in school or you go to a museum, a lot of the time it focuses on facts and strategies of how this event took place. But in this show, it focuses on the heart of it, and like being away from your family and having to deal with these horrors.
The FGCU theater program has worked to deliver the play with the level of respect required.
It was something that I think had to be handled with a lot of delicacy because it's a very sensitive topic. So I know I personally consulted a lot of my friends who are of the Jewish faith because I wanted to make sure I approached it with such an open mind and I was just accepting anything that they had to say because it's their voice and I wanted to amplify their voice.
If you missed the production of Letters to Sala, fear not, you will have 2 more chances to support your local theater with their upcoming productions of The Wolves in April and Radium Girls in February. Kristen Castro, ENTV Now.
Thanks, Kristen. An incident at Northlake Village left some residents feeling not so thankful for the holiday surprise they received over Thanksgiving break. Northlake Village resident Jesse Cohen expected to be greeted by his roommates when he returned to his dorm on November 29th. Instead, he came home to this.
We were unpacking from getting back from Thanksgiving break, and we had some guests over helping us unpack, and the sink stopped working, and we heard creaking cracking over the ceiling, and then it just popped.
According to Cohen, a pipe in the ceiling of his dorm burst, causing it to blow out the fire safety sprinkler and triggering the fire alarm. First responders rushed to the scene to find no one hurt, but there was damage to several dorms in the building. Eagle News spoke to Cohen and his roommates last Monday, and they said they're frustrated with FGCU's response.
It's now been 4 days after, and we were just assigned a double room assignment in Building A. Yeah, it's very frustrating seeing their lackluster response to our situation. It's kind of like, it's not dire in their eyes. It doesn't really matter. There was no assistance or work at all on Sunday, which I understand. However, we don't have a place to live, and a lot of us are not from around here, so we can't just go home. And it's pretty tough right now.
While Housing and Residence Life has not responded for requests for comment, the 2024-2025 housing contract does state that the university is not liable for damage to or loss of students' personal property, or for the failure or interruption of utilities. The housing contract also states that students are encouraged to secure their own personal property loss insurance. 2 games into the FGCU women's basketball season, longtime head coach Karl Smesko left the team to go to the WNBA. Here's ENTV sports correspondent Ty Maranzato with more.
Former FGCU women's basketball head coach Karl Smesko stepped down Wednesday morning and will take about an 8-hour drive on I-75 north to Atlanta as he starts his WNBA coaching career with the Dream. Smesko has been synonymous with the Eagles women's basketball program as he has been the lone coach in the 23 years of its existence. Starting at the ground floor, Smesko took the Eagles from a D2 program to a mid-major, making consistent appearances in the NCAA tournament each March. In his time as the Eagles head coach, Smesko went 611 and 112, earned 14 regular season ASUN titles, won the ASUN tournament 11 times, and earned 10 NCAA tournament berths. In the dance, Smesko led the Eagles to 4 victories and became the winningest 12 seed in the tournament's history, claiming 3 victories, one against Mizzou in 2018, Virginia Tech in 22, as well as Wazoo in 23. Smesko's play style led to raining threes becoming the official slogan for the women's basketball team. In the last 11 seasons, the Birds have led the nation in made three-pointers per game 6 times, and at their lowest finished just 6th. In 2018, they broke the 2015 Sacramento State 424 made threes record by splashing 431. The 13-time ASUN Coach of the Year has produced 10 ASUN Player of the Year and 2 WNBA draft picks. Most recently, 11th overall Kristen Bell, who won back-to-back championships with the Las Vegas Aces in 22 and 23. A cornerstone of Smesko's coaching style is bringing players back to the nest after they graduate. 24 former FGCU players have joined Smesko on the sideline, and now former player Chelsea Lyles will take the reins. Lyles, who has been a part of the program since 2008, competed for 3 years on the court in Alico Arena. Following her playing career, she quickly transitioned to a student assistant the following season. 1 year later, she was promoted to assistant coach, where she served as the recruiting director for 5 years and most recently served as the associate head coach for 6. As far as WNBA basketball in the Peach State, the Dream snuck into 2024 playoffs with a 15-25 record as the 8th seed and got eliminated in the first round for the second consecutive year under coach Tanisha Wright. Smesko will take his career .843 win percentage, which is good for third among active D1 women coaches north, and look to earn Atlanta their first WNBA championship. Ty Marzado, ENTV Now.
Thanks, Ty. That's all for this edition of ENTV Now. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Eagle News TV and visit www.eaglenews.org to stay up to date. Happy holidays, and we'll see you next semester. Thanks for watching.